Yo, YouTube, good afternoon. I'm gonna have fun with this one today. Had another long day at work, of course. Been up since 4 a.m. But like I said, relentless. I'm gonna constantly do this. Like I said, this one is on a lighter note. I think y'all are gonna enjoy this one. Um, Today I said, I was sitting at work and I was talking to a coworker of mine. You know, nice, very intelligent young lady. Uh, Half of from Togo, I think the other half's from Ghana. You know what I mean? Shout out to her. I'm not gonna say her name. She knows she is. Um, and we was just talking about like just different things. I was like, you know what? I said I never really like thought about like. I mean, I did it with hip hop, but I never did it with R&B or with the groups or anything like that. Like top ten as far as music. And forgive me, these Beatles are loud as crap. We in the dog days of summer. It's as hot as fish grease. But I said, let me switch it up. The lighting is different during this time of day, so let me go on my balcony a little bit. Uh, and feel free to chime in, your opinions, who you think is your top 10. This is just mine, my personal opinion. What's funny is I was doing R&B, and it's like I got the number 8 because I didn't look it up for the guys. But you know what? I'm actually going to start with the ladies, and this is in no particular order. My top 10 for R&B for the ladies, no particular order. I got Alicia Keys, Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, Mary J. Blige, Shaka Khan, Faith Evans, Anita Baker, Lauryn Hill, Brandy, and a personal favorite of mine, Patrice Rushen. Y'all know nothing about that. I'm taking it back. You know what I mean? Look her up and see the song she did. For the guys, I got, and I was like kind of stuck with 8, man, because it was 2 more and I didn't get a chance to look them up. So forgive me. I got R. Kelly. I know the controversy and the things that's going on with him. A lot of people don't want to put him on their list, but at the same time, it's like, yo, you can't deny the body of work that he has done. You can't deny that body of work that he's done, and the people he's written. Man, he wrote for Michael Jackson. Man. Yeah, I believe I can fly. Some other timeless stuff. I can separate the talent, from the person. Anyway, I got R. Kelly, Anthony Hamilton, Elder Barge, Usher, Luther Vandross, Maxwell, Al Green, Teddy Pendergrass, and I guess I got to put Keith Sweat in there too. And it's one more I'm forgetting. Hey, he did that song, I Was Born by a River. And, you know what I mean? He was friends with Muhammad Ali. I didn't get a chance to look him up. You know what I mean? But that's my personal top 10 for R&B. And I remember I was talking to my coworker. I was like, yo, in this era, like R&B is lacking. It's lacking big time. It's not like, I think the peak of R&B music was the 90s. I think that was like the peak of R&B, like as far as music with different groups and stuff like that. And individual talents. As time go on, like you don't see that same profession of love towards you. And that's what I told her. I said, I think the biggest difference why R&B is lacking in this day and age is that men and women don't profess love for each other like they used to. Like I wrote my my top 10 groups for R&B. Don't worry, I'm gonna get hip hop too. Don't get it twisted. But I said, let me start a little bit different. Let me start with the R&B first. But for groups, like I said, again, this is no particular order. I was listening while I was at work earlier. I got Jodeci, Boyz II Men, Earth, Wind and Fire, the Jackson 5, the Isley Brothers. Forgive the background, it's a busy time of day. It's the evening, people getting off work. I'm off the main road and it's a lot of background noise. So I hope you all can hear me. So I'm gonna start over again. I got Jodeci. I got Boyz II Men. I got Earth, Wind and Fire, the Jackson 5, the Isley Brothers, Tony, New Edition, SWV, and of course I gotta take it way back to the classics. I got the Temptations. Like I said, feel free to chime in. You agree to who are your top 10? Who are your top 10 groups? Who are your top 10 singers? Male and female. But I just know the profession of love for men and women is lacking nowadays. We don't have that anymore. Everything's so blatant in your face. You know what I mean? There's no creativity. It's no what's the word I'm looking for? I mean, people, they used to say some freaky stuff back in the 80s. I noticed that too. I give you an example, Evelyn Champagne King, when she did that song, You Make My Love Come Down. Think about that for a minute. Think about the words and what she's talking about. They were better at concealing what they were talking about. They were a little more classy back then. But I noticed that the love, it's like men and women can't profess they love each other anymore. It's literally like a divide. They talk about it, they call it the gender wars. And I'm gonna touch on that, a little bit later. As far as the war between the genders and how they wanted to create a divide and how they started with us as a people in particular because we were a threat to them. They didn't like our unity. With that said, the music is timeless. I know me, I just shared with you, my personal favorites, I know for the men, I always like Anthony Hamilton. Man, his voice is so soulful. It hits you in the heart when he's singing, man. But it's a lot of these guys I like. But yeah, that was my personal favorite, Anthony Hamilton. For the ladies, I have a couple of them. I always love Faith Evans' voice. When I hear Shaka Khan, it makes me think about my childhood. It takes me back. Lauryn Hill, oh my goodness, just what could have been, what could have been, with her. But, the industry is so corrupt. It really is so corrupt. As far as, they want you to be a certain way. And if you show any form of resistance to that, they're going to do certain tactics to, take you out. Whether it be from a physical standpoint or, just from a career standpoint. But I always have respect and love for her, just off that one album. Brandy, personal favorite of mine. People be sleeping on Brandy, man. Her voice, her music is just, yeah. And like I told you, Patrice Rushen. Research her. Go ahead and look her up. I hope at some point that, we get back to, as men and women being able to, profess, our love for each other without being ashamed or being embarrassed or being ridiculed. Because it wasn't always like this. With that said, I'm gonna get some my favorite. Gotta touch on the hip hop. I'll do the top 10 artists, my personal opinion first, and then I'll do, the top 10 groups. My top 10 hip hop artists, and I actually put these kind of in chronological order, but a couple of them I could kind of flip in different areas. But to me, number one, I got KRS-One. If you could take hip hop, the essence of hip hop, the music, the graffiti, the breakdancing, the originality in its purest form from the beginning. You know, the battling, the MCing, just the love. If you could just embody that in human form, I truly believe it would be KRS-One. I do. Not to mention the longevity. This dude can handle. He can hold it down and handle his own to this day. So yeah, I got KRS-One number one. My MC. Number two, I got Rakim. Rakim, like for folks, you know, folks is my age. I'm in my mid-40s. My younger folk that don't, you know the history of the game. Rakim literally changed the game. You know, when rap first came out, hip hop first came out, people was yelling and screaming on the mic, and they were battling. Like Rakim was the first one that kind of had that like relaxed, melancholic flow, but it was very intricate with the melody, you know, with the wordplay and the lyrics. He wasn't yelling, he wasn't screaming, like he was just speaking. You know, it was like spoken words on a microphone. You know, and like I said, he literally changed people's rap styles. You know, people rap one way. Rakim came out, they started rapping another way. Number three, I got LL Cool J. Man, folks be sleeping on LL, man. Like, he been in the game since '85. Like, to me, he was the first superstar of hip hop. He was the first superstar of hip hop. As far as, you know, from a business standpoint, they want to market. Can we do commercials with this guy? How are they looking at videos? Like the dudes admired him, his style, the way he dressed. The women, I guess they liked the way he looked or whatever. But yeah, LL, when it came down to it, he could battle with the best of them. You know, he has timeless hits, classics. His longevity is there. Like I said, folks be sleeping on LL. Like I said, this whole terminology, the GOAT. Oh, he's the GOAT in this, the GOAT that. You know, LL Cool J started that, right? He had an album that came out, I believe, I don't know if it was 2002, 2003. He came out with an album and he called it GOAT, you know, greatest of all time. I've always said that Cool J definitely has an argument. You can definitely make an argument for Cool J, man. Like, he got a couple of hits I like personally. Like, of course, I'm Bad. You know, what's the other joint? Dang, I can't even think of it right now. But yeah, I got him at number three. Number four, my personal favorite. This to show you that I'm not biased. My personal favorite MC of all time, Tupac. Machiavelli. Tupac. I got him at number four because, like I said, there's a growth to this game. So I can't put him at number one. I can't be biased because I know he was influenced. And it was, ironically, KRS-One was one of his major influences. You know, but at the same time, there's not one individual MC that has more of a greater impact on the art of hip hop than Tupac. You could look whether you're talking about the style, whether you talk about the work ethic, you know, the braggadociousness, however you want to come with it, he was truly ahead of his time. He was truly ahead of his time. Like I said, that's my personal thing. I want to put him number one. But at the same time, I got to respect the game of hip hop. Like I said, I got KRS-One number one. To me, he's like the living embodiment of hip hop. I told you, I rock him. Number two, he changed the game, like the rap style and stuff like that. And I said, I got LL Cool J number three, the longevity. That was hip hop's first superstar, where the men and the women both admired him for different reasons. And he had the hits. And then he had the lyrics. And then when he would come time to get in the trenches and battle, oh, he could battle with the best of them. Do your research. Number four, like I said, Tupac. Like the most influential MC rapper, whatever you want to call him, most influential man that touched hip hop of all time. Number four, Tupac. Number five, I got Cool G Rap. Folks be sleeping on Cool G. This old East Coast mafioso style, You want to talk about whether you a fan of the Notorious Big, whether you a fan of Big Pun, fan of Nas, you like the Wu-Tang Gambino element, Raekwon and Ghostface. Kool G Rap is the father of all of that. He's the father of it. He started off. People need to go back and do their research and listen. G Rap's flow is just, I mean, my goodness, man. This dude was a lyrical beast and does not give the credit he deserves. He's definitely, like I said, he's in my top 5. He's in my top 5. Kool G Rap. Like I said, that whole mafioso style, that wordplay, lyrical approach, you know, just boom, 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 boom. Like, man, Kool G Rap. Nas took influence from him and Rakim. Biggie took influence from him. People thought Biggie was the first East Coast, quote unquote, gangster that did the rap. Nah, Kool G Rap started that mess. And Big Pun literally is a Latino version of him. His whole flow and style is Kool G. So yeah, my top 5: KRS-One, number 1; Rakim, number 2; LL Cool J, number 3; Tupac, number 4; Kool G Rap, number 5. Now to round off my top 10, number 6, I got Nas. Yeah, like me, and I'm gonna do this list later on as far as hip hop albums. Like, to me, the greatest hip hop album of all time is Illmatic. Like, to this day, Nas has the greatest hip hop album. Like, if I was stuck on an album, and I had to have one hip hop album I had to listen to, out of everybody, I would say Illmatic. Illmatic to me was hip hop in its purest form. And then it was like lyrical excellence. It was wordplay excellence. You know, he was just talking about his daily life. But like from a wordplay, lyrical standpoint, it was at its peak. And like I said, it was at its purest form. You know, and people sleep on Nas, like I said before. I don't even want to bring up, you know, the battles. I'll start with the joint with Jay-Z when they act like Jay was the top dog. And Nas had to come out and remind these Bammers. Like, nah, man. You know, when your boy was on some sidekick stuff, I was doing my thing. When Tupac and Biggie was alive in 96, Nas was right there with him. Right there with him. His second album, it was written. Big had, you know, we had Ready to Die, and Junior Mafia was about to come out with Life After Death. You know, Tupac had All Eyes on Me and Machiavelli. Listen to Machiavelli. Pac said that. That's why he was going at Nas on Machiavelli. He didn't see Big as the number one threat from the East. He saw Nas as that. Showed you that's how much respect he had for Nas. Not to mention one of the greatest songs on his second album. Listen to that song, I Gave You Power, where he talks about being a gun. That's one of the best, like, songs intricate ever. You know, to the point where people, you know, they love, and like I said, I'm a Tupac fan. People love, you know, Tupac, and I do too. I say that's my personal favorite. Machiavelli, that song, Me and My Girlfriend. Yeah, that song was inspired by I Gave You Power. From It Was Written. This when Nas was young too. It showed you the type of mind he had. Yeah, folks be sleeping on Nas, man. I had to pay homage to the OGs. But if people want to talk about who's the greatest rapper alive, you could definitely make an argument for Nas. You could definitely make that argument, man. Like, you could definitely make that argument for him. That guy, his impact was just transcendent. Number 7, I got Ice Cube. Folks sleep on the West Coast. Folks forget. Yeah, I know hip hop started in the East. But I mean, people sleep on Cube because they see him now doing the movies, being an actor, but they forget what O'Shea Jackson was from the beginning. They forget, you know, that he was the main writer for NWA. You know, they forget Kill It Will. You know, they forget Death Certificate, which is one of the best hip hop albums ever. His writing ability and his storytelling is unparalleled. And that's from the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? I had to give props to Ice Cube, man. I'm not even gonna talk about his longevity. You know, folks forget how great this dude was and what he did to hold things down. And like I said, I had to show some love to the West too. I had to. I did earlier with Tupac. I know people say, "Oh, no pockets." Man, look, Tupac was born in Harlem. Yeah, he moved from Harlem when he was 5. He was in Baltimore. Check out the old shirt. He was in Baltimore. He was in Baltimore from I think the age of 6 till he's about 15. 15, Pop was in Marion City, jungle, right outside of Oakland. The West Coast raised him. California raised him. Oakland raised him. I'm sorry to digress, but I had to speak more on this. Pop claimed the Bay. He said that. If it was any area he would claim the Bay. Because that's where he became who he became. Excuse me. So all these biased New York dudes are still mad about Hit 'Em Up. And want to say, oh yeah, he was a New York rapper. Like, nah, man. He showed love to New York. He didn't forget where he came from. Where he was born, I should say. But how that saying goes, it's not where you from, it's where you at. But again, back to Ice Cube. Man, Death Certificate, one of the greatest hip-hop albums of all time. One of the greatest hip-hop albums of all time. You know, I'm not even going to talk about, you know, transcending hip-hop with some of the movies he did. You know, his role in Boys in the Hood. You know, the Friday series, especially the first one, classic. You know, to the West Side Connection, Bow Down. You know, folks have no idea, man. Put some respect on Ice Cube's name. I got him at number 7. Number 8, I got the Notorious Big. The Notorious B.I.G. I know some people are like, hey, why you got him so low? Because he only had 2 albums. He only had 2 albums. But those 2 albums were like 2 of the greatest hip-hop albums of all time. And to me, Biggie had the best flow ever. Folks get mixed up when they say, oh, he was the best lyrically. Lyrics is what you're saying. Your wordplay is how you bounce the words off the track. Big had the best wordplay ever. His lyrics were decent too, don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? But I can't take someone that's only had 2 albums and put him as the greatest of all time. Because I'm on some East Coast bias. I can't do that. With that said, his impact was so great and he was so talented that he's definitely in the top 10. He's definitely in the top 10, man. And I'm not going to lie to you, like I said, when that old 96, when I was younger, yeah, the East Coast, West Coast little thing going on, I was riding with Tupac. I was rolling with Machiavelli. Now, I caught a little bit static from that because, like I said, I'm from DC, I'm from the East Coast, but I can only go by what I can relate to. Not that this Biggie, I can't relate to wearing Versace sweaters and tricking my money on women. I can't. I'm sorry. But with that said, like, he has some songs that resonated with me as well, man. One of my favorite songs from Biggie is Everyday Struggle from Ready to Die. Love that song, man. I can hear the influence from Tupac with that song. Most definitely, I can hear the influence with that. Of course, people talk about, you know, his flow with Notorious Thugs, how he flipped it and, you know, adapted to the Bone Thugs and Harmony flow. At that size, I got to give him credit. That ain't easy to do. The dude was over 300 pounds. Had that breath control and that wordplay and stuff like that, the beats going top speed. It shows you how talented he was. So yeah, I got the Notorious Big at number 8. You know, number 9, I had to put him in here. I had to because his body of work is just unparalleled. You know what I'm saying? And in the beginning, I liked him, but his level of arrogance kind of turned me off. So like to me, he's the rap version of LeBron, where he gasses himself up and thinks he's better than what he really is. With that said, he is great in his own right. I got number 9. I got Jay-Z. Yeah, I got Jay-Z at number 9. Folks need to go back to 96 first and foremost. Like when these rap giants was alive, You know, when Big and Tupac was battling, doing their thing, Jay-Z was on some sidekick stuff. He wasn't the man. The man was Big, and then it was Nas. Nas was right there nipping at his heels. He was the next. He was the one up next. But Jay, it was, you saw the work ethic, you saw the talent. You knew this dude had the potential to be really something special. You saw that with his first album, Reasonable Doubt. You know what I'm saying? 98 came. Yeah, Hard Knock Life. The Blueprint. Come on now, 2001. That was probably, you know, other than Stillmatic, which to me was the best album of 2001. But other than that, the Blueprint, the impact, I can't deny it. His longevity, although I'm going to keep it real, the reason why I had these people gas him up is on some political stuff, because he's with Beyonce and he's friends with these politicians. So it's like, yeah, it's some political stuff, but I can't deny his talent. I can't deny his ability. I can't deny his longevity. He's definitely worthy to be in the top 10. Jay-Z, number 9. Number 10, I got Scarface. Face Mob. Yeah, I got to show some love to the South, man. I do. He started off with the group Ghetto Boys. You know, his album, The Diary, one of the greatest hip-hop albums ever. He came from a perspective that no one had ever heard. Real serious, real melodic, but his wordplay was, Scarface made you think. He shattered that mold that, oh, these Southern rappers, oh, they just ignorant, or they on some bounce moves. Nah, man. Scarface was on some real life stuff. I still love that album, The Untouchable, that he did. I still love that album to this day. You know what I mean? I had to show love. Yeah, I got Scarface number 10 rounding it out. You know, one of my favorite songs he did with Ice Cube, The Hand of the Dead Body, from the Diary album. He has some songs from Untouchables. He introduced the world to Devin the Dude. And of course, the group Face Mob. You know, I remember Andre 3000 in the Source Awards in 95 when the East and West was going back and forth. And Andre 3000 he took the mic. He said, he said, the South got something to say. Yeah, he didn't have to say that. Scarface proved it. Scarface proved that the South had something to say. You know. All right, now. I'm having some fun. I'm going to round this out near the end. My top 10 hip-hop groups. Yeah. Number 1, Run DMC. Come on now. It's got to be them. It's got to be them at number 1, man. Like, if it wasn't for them, I don't know if hip-hop would be where it's at. You want to talk about the foundation. Run DMC laid out like, not a concrete foundation, a platinum and steel foundation for hip-hop. And what they did, show some respect to your elders, show some respect to the forefathers. Yeah, Run DMC number 1. Number 2, my personal favorite group. I almost wanted to put them number 1, but I gotta respect the OGs, you know, that started this. Number 2, I got Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang Clan. What my man Ghostface said, Wu-Tang Forever album, Wu-Tang best rap group of all time. Oh yeah, you can make that argument. Come on, man. 9 different MCs. They all had their own style. You know, had the little kung fu backdrops. You had some people with the battle rap element. You had some people with the mafioso element. Some people with the street element. And you get some people with the intellect, with hip hop in its purest form element, and they form that group. Whether you're talking about, you know, the Jizza Genius, like, man, one of the best purest wordplay MCs ever. Whether you're talking about the RZA, you know, the mastermind behind all of it, the Abbott, the leader of the group, you know, the one that had the whole idea of meshing the kung fu. Who would have thought of that? You know, meshing kung fu with lyrics. Like, come on, man, that's some off the wall stuff. I don't know if he was drunk or high or what, but it was genius. Of course, the METHOD, Got me drinking OE all night in the MPV. Like, come on, man. The Method Man, man. The guy I can relate to, man. You know, he was kind of the face of the group. He wasn't the leader, but he was the face of the group. Charismatic, very. And people be sleeping on Meth. Meth be bringing it with the wordplay and the lyrics. All you got to do is go back and listen to Biggie's first album, Ready to Die. He didn't have no guest appearances. People gas up big, talking about he's the greatest ever and all this other stuff. Guess who was on Ready to Die? The one other rapper besides Biggie was on the album. Yeah, Method Man. Listen to that song, The What, excuse me. Listen to that song, The What, with Biggie and Method Man going back and forth. And you tell me Meth did not hold his own. Or did not, you know, hey, be the better of the two MCs on that one song. You know? Of course, Raekwon, the Chef, my personal favorite Wu-Tang album ever. Only built for Cuban links, the Purple Tape. Come on, man. Man, the intensity and the syllabic wordplay, it was unheard of. No one had heard a rapper talk like that. Coogee rap influence. But yeah, man, Raekwon, man. Ghostface. You know, Raekwon's partner in crime, but like probably to this day, like probably the most respected MC out of all the Wu-Tang. He's still relevant to this day with his albums and stuff like that, man. Supreme Clientele, one of the best albums ever. You know, Inspector Deck still got the best intro verse ever. To this day, The Master Killer, Folks Be Sleeping, You God, you know what I mean? Like, folks have no idea. Every one of them had their own style, and how could I forget the most, the most original MC ever, the most original. There's no father to his style. Rest in peace, old dirty bastard. The drunken kung fu lyrical genius. That dude, man, it's like he would go from flowing on a song to acting a stone cold fool. But man, entertaining the whole time. And when he talked, some of his interviews, he was brilliant. Don't sleep on him, man. But yeah, I don't want to digress too much. But yeah, I got Wu-Tang number 2. Number 3, I got Public Enemy. You want to talk about groups with a message? The predecessor to NWA. You know, the predecessor to NWA. You talk about NWA, like the predecessor who influenced NWA? Public Enemy. That's why when Ice Cube left NWA, he went and he teamed up with the Bomb Squad, which is Public Enemy's producers. They produced Kill at Will, and I forgot the name of his other album. And I know they did a couple of songs off a Death Certificate as well. But yeah, man, like you want to talk, these are the two guys. Like I told you, my personal favorite MC is Tupac. Tupac always said his 2 biggest influences, he said was, well, actually he said 3, I'm sorry. He said KRS-One, Chuck D, Public Enemy, and Ice Cube. These were his main influences. Put some respect on Chuck D's name. He was kicking that knowledge and rapping for the people, you know. And one of my favorite songs, man, what's that joint? Steel in the Hour of Chaos. I think that's the name of the joint. Black Steel in the Hour of Chaos. Still one of the best hip hop songs ever. Black Steel in the Hour of Chaos. And of course, they had the ultimate hype man, Flavor Flav. Very original. You know what I mean? You had Professor Griff and them dudes, like they brought the Black Panther element with the wordplay and just definitely uplifted the people with a message during Reaganomics and in the 80s, man, when things were tough. So yeah, number 3, I got Public Enemy. Number 4, I got NWA. You can say what you want, like they literally brought in so much, man. Introduced Dr. Dre to the world. You know what I mean? Introduced Ice Cube to the world. Of course, Eazy-E, the mastermind, you know, made him into an MC. The only dude that was really street in the group. The smallest dude. Folks be sleeping on E, but E had respect and confidence. He really did. MC Ren. You know what I mean? Bringing the wordplay and the lyrics from the West Coast point of view, along with Ice Cube, and of course, as like I said before, Dr. Dre, like arguably the greatest producer in hip hop history. You know, with some of their timeless albums. You know, and they're the predecessors to, Snoop Doggy Dogg, Eminem, 50 Cent. You know what I mean? The Game to a lesser extent. Exhibit, like NWA was the root of all of that. I had to put them up there, and their impact was unparalleled at the time. Like they were like hip hop rock after Run DMC. They was probably the second group that were like hip hop rock stars. All right, number 5, I got Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5. Like to this day, even though it's very simplistic in the wordplay, like the essence of that song is still there, man. I'm talking about that song called The Message, where it showed that hip hop wasn't just about dancing and partying, but you know what? You could take this art form called rap and hip hop and show that you can actually have something really to say behind it. Yeah, that was Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5. That takes me back to like, oof, like when I was like almost an infant, just removed from infant stages. But I remember hearing them in DC as a little kid. I got them in number 5. Number 6, again, I got to show some love to the South. I got Outkast. Like, man, some of these songs were just so creative, so ahead of its time. Speaking from a perspective that you didn't hear, I told you before when Dre 3000 said the South got something to say. One of the greatest MCs, Dre 3000 said. People be sleeping on Big Boy too. Like the essence of like that energy that was down south. They repped it, man. And some of the best albums, man. Southern Playalistic, Cadillac Music, Atlians, Aquemini. Some of the best songs, man. I told you I'm a single father, man. I remember when they came up with that song, I'm Sorry, Miss Jackson. Oh, man, to this day, that song hits me because, yeah, I experienced that. I thank God for them brothers for speaking up and representing for the brothers that's going through things like that. Yeah, I got Outkast, number 6. Number 7, I got a Tribe Called Quest. Folks forget, man, how great of a group that was. Like I said, hip hop, talking about hip hop in its purest form, from an artistic standpoint. Just two MCs having fun, man. Q-Tip, Fight Dog. You know what I mean? Like, man. And ironically, that was my very first hip hop album that I got. A friend of mine, my parents were strict, so I couldn't really get stuff like that from the store. But a friend of mine that, I went to middle school with, shout out to my man. I ain't even gonna say his name, man. But shout out to my guy, you know who he is, man. He let me borrow the Low End Theory from the Tribe Called Quest. That was my very first hip hop album. I'm glad it was. Because like I said, that was hip hop, like in its purest form. Speaking artistically, just loving the game. Like I said, two MCs having fun. And like I said, they got straight classics, man. Yeah, I got Tribe Called Quest number 7. Number 8, I got EPMD. Yeah, man. Eric and Paris making dollars. Yeah, folks, like I said, man, folks need to go back and look, man. Like these dudes was like the epitome of cool in the late 80s. Their styles was like complete opposite, but it worked perfectly, man. Like Eric Sermon, like with the production and the silly lyrics, and then like Paris Smith, like just with the serious wordplay. You know what I'm saying? The bucket fisherman hats. You know what I mean? The style, the lyrics. It was almost like two Rakims almost, but almost like one was a silly version and one was an extra serious street version. And it worked, man. Like them dudes, man. And again, what they did kind of like with NWA when I said they bought out Snoop and Eminem and 50 Cent. EPMD did that as well. Whether you want to talk about Eric Sermon introducing Redman to the world, introducing Keith Murray to the world, you know, Paris Smith introducing K Solo, introducing DOS Effects, you know what I mean? Hurricane G, like man, yeah, they got their own little branch, man. I got to put EPMD up there, number 8. Number 9, y'all gonna be surprised with this one, but like again, like I go by impact as well. You know what I mean? Not just a bunch of albums and stuff like that. I got the Hot Boys. Man. You know, Cash Money, Juvenile, BG, Young Turk, Lil Wayne. I remember in the late 90s, early 2000s, how serious them dudes was, man, with that bounce music. And them beats and just how everyone had their own, even though, like I said, the South had something to say too. I gotta be fair, be around the board. You know, I can't be biased to one side or the other side. You know what I mean? And like I said, they impact like even to this day. You know what I mean? You put Juvie joint on back that, you know what up in a party and see what happens, see what the women do. Lil Wayne's still relevant. BG just got out, you know what I mean? Turk still doing his thing. But yeah, they had a run, I think, from like 99 to like I want to say 04 to where them dudes was making it individually and as a group. And it was coming, like I said, from the bottom of the map. My last group, number 10, I'm gonna go back to hip hop in the spirit form. Personal favorite of mine, number 10, I got De La Soul. Like I said, timeless group. You know, one of my favorite albums. Again, bought from the same friend that gave me the Low End 30. De La Soul was dead. I remember listening to them in the early 90s. You know what I mean? And like I said, just showing hip hop. I remember when the news, people talk about the negativity, hip hop, and gangster music, people get killed, people get shot. Like De La Soul showed that hip hop could be something else. Not just party, but we can have fun with this. We could do this in the purest form while still learning at the same time. And to this day, they still doing their thing. They still relevant, man. So yeah, that's my top 10 groups. Number 1, Run DMC. Number 2, Wu-Tang. Number 3, Public Enemy. Number 4, I got NWA. Number 5, I got Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5. Number 6, I got Outkast. Number 7, Tribe Called Quest. Number 8, EPMD. Number 9, the Hot Boys. Number 10, De La Soul. You all get a chance, you chime in, you know, comment. Let me know who your top 10 MCs, your top 10 hip hop groups, who your top 10 R&B singers, who your top 10 R&B groups. Let me know, you know, have some fun with it, man. Thank you all for your time, man, you know.